Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Premier Injuries Daily Update. Now, this could be our last video ahead of Game Week 21 and the FPL deadline on New Year's Day, but hopefully we may be able to shoehorn in a live Q&A ahead of that early kickoff with Manchester City and Arsenal. Now, Thursday, the 30th, we've already heard from three managers, and we'll have a host of other press conferences to come on Friday. Now, you can always check out my Twitter account timeline at Ben Dinnery, or visit the website at premierinjuries.com injury table, which is updated throughout. So all of the news, if it's not covered here or on the timeline, will always be on that table. So please check that out and tell me what you think of the new website. Pop any comments in the box below. Right. Back to today. So the three managers that we've heard from, we'll kick off with Brendan Rodgers. And it looks, unfortunately, as if Jamie Vardy could be out for up to 4 weeks. That's a recurrence or re-injury of his recent hamstring problem. Initially played down by Brendan Rodgers after that win over Liverpool, said that he thought it was his ankle that was the main concern following a challenge with Virgil van Dijk. But imaging has revealed that there's another problem in that hamstring, and we're looking in and around 3 to 4 weeks for that. However, good news with regards to James Maddison. He came off with a little bit of tightness in his calf. He's been cleared and he's absolutely fine. With regards to the rest of the squad, Johnny Evans, Kaglar, Soyuncu, they're going to be at least 3 weeks away. Padson, Daka, maybe in and around that mid-January point. James Justin, of course, recovering from a long-term knee injury, ACL. He's going to probably be in and around another 3 to 4 weeks. COVID has delayed his return ever so slightly. What we have seen, Harvey Barnes back on the training pitches on Thursday, so that gives him a chance. But yeah, otherwise, not really too much change. Wesley Fofana, he was progressing ahead of schedule, but it still looks as if it's going to be February before he is back for the Foxes. David Moyes, we've heard that from him on Thursday afternoon. Declan Rice, he returns after serving a one-match ban. Of course, that was an accumulation of 5 yellow cards. Interesting to see what happens with Mark Noble. He come in for Rice last time out and done a really good job in there. So whether he's moved or, dare you say, could he keep Declan Rice out of that starting 11? Probably not. David Moyes was fairly confident and optimistic as of today. Fingers crossed there weren't any more positive COVID tests. We do know, however, that Pablo Fornals was the latest official positive case, and he missed out last time, so we know he's going to be missing this weekend. For Tottenham, Antonio Conte didn't really touch upon injuries too much, but what we do know following the 1-1 draw with Southampton, he said that Giovanni Lo Celso and also Stephen Bergwijn, they're both out of this weekend's game. It's coming too soon for them. Christian Morero is Remy's 7 to 10 days away, and Ryan Sessegnon realistically could maybe return in the FA Cup. For Brentford, they played Manchester City on Wednesday night. Narrow defeat, 1-0 there. Dominic Thompson is one to watch. He limped off with an apparent ankle problem, although there was no mention from Thomas Frank post-match. However, what he did say, Buena Mbuemo, calf problem, I think that was suffered in the Carabao Cup. He stands a really strong chance of returning to the matchday squad. However, Rico Henry, that hamstring issue is a little bit more severe than initially thought, and we're looking at maybe 2 to possibly 3 weeks for him. Christian Norgard back after suspension, and maybe an outside chance of Christoph Ayer returning to the 18. However, he has been out for over 2 months, so maybe the FA Cup is a little bit more realistic for him. Now, because it's my last one, I don't want to miss anything out. So I'll have a quick look at my crib sheet. Liverpool, we were expecting Thiago Alcantara back in the matchday squad this week. That didn't happen post-COVID, and that was because he complained of muscle tightness or a little bit of soreness following his return to the training pitches. Similarly, Minamino, that's minor, so that gives them a good chance of returning to the matchday squad. But what I would suggest, it may be too soon for either of those players to actually start. We've heard from Patrick Bamford. He was talking to the Yorkshire Post exclusively. Now, he said he's on the verge of coming back from a hamstring problem. We know that he suffered that injury while celebrating his goal having just returned from a high ankle sprain problem. Now, he said he's hitting all his baseline metrics. He's doing everything in training. So he's very, very close. And if it's not this weekend, then maybe Marcelo Bielsa may fancy putting him out there in the FA Cup the following week. So certainly good news with regards to that for Leeds supporters. Joachim Anderson, hamstring problem, almost certain to miss out. Again, he's just returning, so you maybe expect Mark Guy to be partnered by James Tompkins with that one. Big problems down at Norwich, although from a fantasy perspective, there's not really much cause for attraction for those Canaries. Romelu Lukaku, Chelsea, that's a bonus. He's got 2 in his last 2 following injury and COVID. We've seen Kai Havertz named on the bench for Chelsea, but he was unused last time out. 2 big updates, however, and disappointing news, certainly with regards to Reece James. He limped off with what looked like quite a significant hamstring problem against Brighton. That 1-1 draw, late equaliser from Danny Welbeck and time added on, was compounded by those 2 injuries. Reece James was seen leaving Stamford Bridge on crutches. Again, there's some indication that it could be tendon involvement with that injury. And if that is the case, then certainly those types of injury, depending on the severity, tend to take a little bit longer due to the complexities of the healing of the structure. So, one to watch, but again, probably several weeks on the sidelines. And also Andreas Christensen, he was returning from a back problem, probably thrown back in there a little bit early, given the injury to Thiago Silva. He was unable to complete 90 minutes. In fact, he was unable to complete anything other than that first half, and he came off the pitch. So highly unlikely, I would suggest maybe at this point, that he's going to be fully fit and ready for Chelsea. Like I say, they're managing a number of problems, and N'Golo Kante picked up a knee issue, and he was involved in minutes from the bench on Wednesday night. Elsewhere, I think that's probably most of the main talking points. So all it remains for me to say is I wish you a very happy and prosperous new year. Good luck for 2022. Stay safe, everyone. Of course, we'll be back. Keep on following, keep subscribing, keep adding those comments. And like I say, we will be back very, very soon. So stay safe, and a happy new year.